100-point mark twice. What can you do to consistently generate more offense?
Continue to get into the paint and create, but we've gotten some good looks and missed. You know what I mean? Like especially tonight, we got 43s up and we only hit 11. You know what I mean? So we're getting the looks. I think the biggest thing now is just being able to hit and knock them down. We had 95 today, but just continue to get into the paint, and they're a good team. You know what I mean? When they make shots, still continuing to get out and push the pace and get our looks. But biggest thing is we got to hit shots.
What was working so well for you offensively tonight?
Just picking my spots, trying to find ways to continue to be aggressive, understanding that I'm going to need, to score the ball, you know what I mean, and especially in this series. So just trying to find my spots, pick them, and, I can be better, and I will. But that's the biggest thing, trying to pick my spots.
Joe, can you tell in one playoff game what it'll take to win a series?
I mean, yes and no. I don't think you know everything, but I think you can see the formula of how, how to attack, how to put yourself in the group in the proper positions to succeed. I felt like we were right there until there was a possession where they think they got 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in a row. Just a momentum swing. They didn't even score. We got the foul or whatever it was. Like, that's just a momentum shift. They came out in the third. Drew hit a 3. I think D. White hit a 3. I forgot how it went down, but just coming out of the third, starting off better. And once they see a few go in, it's tough. So for us, at one point we held in the field with 51 points. Was it? It had that's we're playing solid defense, but I feel like we when you give a team like that extra possessions, give a team like that extra life, that's the biggest thing. So to answer your question, yes, I think you can figure some things out, but you got to continue to go. But we got to make some shots, and they're a high volume team, a high powered team, so we'll be better next game.
And then obviously you've known Tatum and Brown well since at least 2019 with the China trip, but Derek was on that team too.
Yes, he was.
Did he have those clubs in his bag that he has now offensively?
I think yes and no. I mean, I feel like he's had some things, that he's definitely added to his game. I mean, I think he's a guy that's always, whatever you need from him. That's a big thing. A selfless guy that comes in is like, look, if it's tonight it's 25. Even last series he was averaging 28 or whatever it was. And in some series he may go over, but he's doing other things defensively and different things. So he's definitely grown as a player. And obviously I've seen it throughout the years and whatnot. We've played against him in when I was in Utah. So it's the biggest thing now is just trying to find ways to contain it. When you got different guys that can go, for 25, 30. But he didn't. I wouldn't say he had all this, but he had some tools that you could see if he continued to work, he'd be, here.
Donovan, all season long, you guys were a defense that was built to protect the paint, keep teams out of the paint. Obviously, Boston's the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. How do you, if you do, maintain your defensive principles of protecting the paint, but also being able to guard the three?
Being better on the ball, I think, is the biggest thing. It's easy for me to say that, but just continuing to keep, being in early, being in your spots early, and then getting out to the perimeter, being better on your closeouts. The series is going to be really mental, making sure you're mentally there, and then being ready to get out. It's kind of the opposite of last series, So now it's being there, understanding where it's going to come and getting habits. And, it's game one. We're fresh off a different series, so just coming in and as a group, understanding that this is what it's going to take, and I think we look at the film and be better on Thursday.
You guys had an offensive drought when you were on the bench at the start of the second quarter, and then they went on a big run when you were on the bench in the start of the fourth quarter. How do you keep yourself from feeling like you have to do everything for this team?
I trust my guys. You know what I mean? That's kind of that's how I've always been. And it's one thing where we got to continue to run our offense. And like I said, it's one game and we'll be better at it. I think it sucks that we lost, but it's good to kind of see where we can improve at. You know what I mean? So not upset we lost, but not overreacting. It's like, okay, this is what happens. This is how we can improve. This is how we can get our looks. So I'm not one to typically overreact and feel like, damn, like, you know what I mean? I trust our guys, and we got guys that can really make plays. And so now it's like, all right, it's a different series, you know, different group, different ways to score, different things. You know, Isaac's being guarded by the 5 men. So different things we can learn, watch the film, and be like, all right, you know, how do we attack in these scenarios, and we'll be better.
Donovan, you talked about mentality and knowing that Isaac has been one of your guys' best defenders. And tonight, Jaylen Brown got the best of him. How do you continue to speak life into him, knowing how important he is going to be on the defensive end?
I mean, it's one game. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Jaylen Brown's an all-NBA player. He makes $300 million for a reason. You know what I mean? It's not the first time he scored 30 on somebody. So I don't think, you know, Isaac's sitting there like, damn, you know, I think it's something that, all right, we can improve and be better. And, you know, credit where credit is due. But, you know, I think for Isaac, he's done so much this year alone, you know what I mean, offensively, defensively, being guarded by a 5-man, now being a 5-man in our offense, you know, after a different scenario in the other series. So for him, you know, I continue to be positive, but I don't think he's sweating. He understands that he can be better. We all can be better. We all do things, but also, like, he did a lot of really positive things as well for us to put us in positions offensively. So, you know, for him, you know, it's one game. You know, move on to the next one.
Right.
You've been in Darius's ear all throughout the playoffs. What does your message continue to be to him?
Say again, sorry.
What does your message continue to be to Darius?
Be aggressive. You know, continue to attack, find ways to get in the paint and create. This series is different. You know, this series is, you know, how do you know, you have to think a little bit more. You know, they're like, they have a bunch of different things they can throw at you in different scenarios. So it's like, how do you know, adjust? And, you know, like I said, it sucks that we lost, but you have something on film that you can look at, dissect. But I'm always going to tell them to be aggressive. And that doesn't always mean shoot, doesn't always mean pass. It's just finding ways to be in the right position. So he's continuing to learn and build. And like I said, we'll all be better on Thursday.
And going from the 7 games that you played against the Magic that were all kind of like a slugfest for the most part.
Yeah.
How much of a shift is it to go to this kind of a game flow with the spacing and all that?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just mentally understanding what's coming, you know, what's coming with it. It's, you know, and understanding, you know, we've played these guys before and it took them, I mean, it's completely different, to be honest. You know, you're protecting the paint for 7 games, hammering home, and now you got to get out to guys, and it's not just like it's 2 guys. It's really 1 through 15, you know what I mean? So understanding that. But you got to go through a game like this. You got to get that to understand it. And, you know, like I said, we had a slugfest in game 1. I'm not using that as an excuse. They came in out here and did what they were supposed to do. Now we got to find a way to steal game 2.
Just following up, I was going to ask the same question, but Donovan, were you guys physically or mentally spent after, you know, that 7-game series? I
mean, you could point to that, but I'm not going to go there. I feel like, you know, there are things we can be better at. But, you know what I mean, yeah, the 7-game series is taxing, having 1 day off and playing. But, you know, at the end of the day, we didn't do our job. So.
Did there, again, just to reiterate, you've played these guys, so the pace isn't a mystery to you. But was it anything different tonight? No,
I think we knew what we were walking into. I think, you know, the biggest thing was offensively, they made shots. We shot 40% from the field, 26 from 3. So understanding that when they make shots, continue to push, you know, continue to get these rebounds. We get the rebounds, they don't get them. We're out in the break, you know, when we're at our best. So it's the little things, you know. So I think, you know, just looking at the film, and like I said, it's an 8-point game, 10-point game, whatever it was, and, you know, next thing you know, it's 15, you know, especially